The story of an island without the story of the sea is, well, it's ridiculous, really. You can't do it.
Living on an island is very much about the sea, almost sometimes more than about the land.
There's over 70 islands. That's a huge length of coastline compared with the landmass. I think it's very important in many people's lives.
I think like any island group, the sea is the most dominant factor.
When you live on an island, of course, there's sea on every side. To come and go, you have to fly over the sea or go on a ship.
The sea was never seen as a barrier, it's seen as the highway. You travelled by sea.
I've been working in Stromness Museum photographing their artefacts for a number of years now, and it would be really hard to think of any of the artefacts in there that do not have a relationship with the sea. And when I'm working there handling the artefacts, I get this sense of how deeply rooted the sea is in our culture here.
Well, there's a lot of them. There's definitely creel, that's the kind of cage that you use to catch crabs and lobsters. Crabs are a lot of the time they're called partons. You've got selkie for seal, although that's kind of a mythological term. You've got bonksy, that's the name for a great skua, and it's a coastal bird that preys on other birds. Instead of cowrie shells, we say grotybuckies. And spoots are what we call razorfish, the little clams that dig into the sand.
There's the swa of the sea. That's an old word that you used to hear older folks saying when I was piddy. And the swa of the sea is just the general noise of the sea as it's happening. If there's a kind of swell going on and you can hear the sound of the sea for the distance. Not just the crashing of waves on the shore or anything, just the general motion of it. And it can be a very comforting sound unless maybe you had somebody at sea that you were worried about.
Well, one word we would use would be gyo, which is just a narrow inlet. Most of the place names have a meaning. Most of them could be traced back to the Vikings or the Old Norse. Every rock, every inlet, within every 100 metres of the coast, almost every island right around Orkney, and probably the coastline of Scotland, would have names that were very significant, mostly from fishing, and that's why everybody knew them, because livings came from the sea, and that was part and parcel of living on an island, was the sea.
The trouble is, if you're an Orcadian, if you're not going to sea, you're not going to use as many as you would like to ken. And if you're not, working with a boat or anything anymore, there's no that kind of knowledge for most of us as there used to be, because everybody used to go to sea. All the folk for the town would have a boat, or they would go in boats together out to catch silks and cooths and all. There's a good old word, cooths. The fish to catch in the summer and the autumn time.
The folklore of Orkney is so tied to the sea, it's such a part of it. Fish were never named. If you name a fish, then you wouldn't catch it. Robert Rendell, the poet, remembered as a boy going out on a boat and saying, "Oh, I hope we catch a haddock." And the old man fixed them with a glower that would have turned milk sour, so it turned you to stone. And he said, "Well, we'll no see when the day new."
Because different sheep belonging to different owners are together on the beach, it's a communal thing to gather them up for what we call punding, for either clipping them or whatever else. It's much easier to do it at high tide when there's less beach than at low tide when there'll be a great expanse of shore for the sheep to get past you. So we're very conscious of when the moon is.